This week's episode of Timeless Lessons brought to you in memory of my dear grandfather, Abraham Russ. We're talking about success. Everybody wants to feel successful. Everybody wants to feel like they're living a life and they're tapping into their personal greatness. The feeling of working and not hitting that is so difficult for people because it's not how we're supposed to live. But how do you become successful? So in this week's Torah portion, God gives us a secret to how to do it. So the Torah portion is talking about the building of the tabernacle, the Mishkan. God lays out incredible instructions. He's the ultimate architect for a massive, beautiful, small, but intricate building where he will dwell as they travel in the desert. And in it is like embroidery, it's gorgeous tapestry and vessels that are intricate, unbelievable stuff. And the question that the commentators ask is beautiful, but like, who's doing this? Like, last I checked, everyone in the room is a bunch of slaves. Like, they have no skill in this area. They spent their entire lives carrying these massive bricks around, working in slavery. Like, it would be amazing if people can actually do this. So what's the plan, God? You know what God says? I'll tell you who's doing it. I'll read from the verse. He says, whoever has a wise heart, come and you'll do whatever I tell you to do. That's God's answer. Not the guys in the corner, they're good at this. That guy in the back is good at this. Those ladies are good at this. Come forward. He says, whoever has a wise heart, come. We'll figure it out from there. Well, what's a wise heart? Right? Doesn't the concept even of wise heart sound like contradictory? Like, isn't when you hear wise, the next word wise mind? Like, wisdom is connected to your mind and feelings is connected to your heart. So what's a wise heart? So there's a great book called the Sha'ar Bitachon. And in it, the author explains what it means to be a true believer. And a true believer in God understands that the sustenance that he has, or she has, comes from God. And if God is providing, then what do you do all day? And the answer he gives is, figure out your nature. The lion doesn't become the bird, and the bird doesn't become the lion. They figure out their nature. So too with people. You have nature. You have a nature. You have interests. You're good at things. There are things you like and that no one else likes. Things that there are subjects that you're inclined towards. You have a feeling as to what you're good at. You have natural traits. Figure it out. And when you figure out your natural traits, you have to understand that that didn't come from nowhere. The passions of your heart didn't just pop out of randomness. God put you in this world and gave you those interests, gave you those passions, gave you those skills, traits, because he wants you to use it for humanity. He wants you to use it for him. So what you should do is figure it out and trust that if you do that really well, you'll be fine. What he's saying is, take your feelings, your heart, and apply wisdom. A chacham lev, someone with a wise heart, is someone who says, let me apply wisdom to my heart. Let me try to figure out my feelings, my interests, my desires, my passions. Why do I like this and not this? How come when I do a job I can do these things really well, but I struggle with this? How come I like studying this or learning this? How come I am always inclined and I can do this for a living and all day long, but not this? A believer figures out his heart because he knows that heart was given to him by God for a reason. He's on this earth and he is unique, or she is unique, and he is worthy, and he's not like anybody else. He has things. And when he figures out what he or she has, he can now give that thing, he can leverage it, he can sharpen it, he can empower it, he can learn about it, and then contribute that to the greater good. In fact, a true believer has a wise heart. You know what God says? You know who I want? I don't want people to think they know everything. I want people with a wise heart. Yeah, I want people that are in the desert that say, I don't know how to do this. I spent my whole life carrying around bricks, but I have an inclination for this. I always wanted to do this. When I was in the house, when I was in the tent, when I was back in Egypt, I always inclined to this and inclined to that and tried this. This is where I feel passionate about. Come with your passions and trust that if you extend yourself with the passions, you'll figure it out. Because that's how success happens. If you look at people that achieve the success in life, they usually have two core elements. One, They spend their lives being self-aware. They figure out what they're good at. They never walk into a room and go, I can handle all of it. They walk into a room and go, I can handle one piece of it and I need a team. Successful people are the most self-aware people in a room. They know they're deficient in most things, but they have something that's special and they want to give that to the crowd, to the team, to the organization. But you know what else they're always doing? They're extending themselves. They're going past their comfort zone. They're extending their responsibilities beyond what they can do because they know in their core that if I push past what's possible for me, I'll figure it out and I'll learn something new and I'll get better. God says, you know who's building this Mishkan? You know who's going to take care of the most intricate project the Jews have ever seen to date? Are people that walk in and go, I don't know how to do this, but I want to do this. And I'm passionate about that. I'm going to follow you, God, and I'm going to work my hardest and trust that you'll put it in. Success is when you figure yourself out, when you just try to become self-aware, to be unique, to not do things because everyone around you is doing them, to not take a job because that's what your community or everyone else says should do this, to push yourself, to figure out what you're good at, what you want to be doing, and to extend yourself past what you think is possible, to take responsibilities in areas that you didn't think possible. And when you extend yourself for the greater good, for others, for God, in the areas that are the passion of your heart, you are achieving your success and you are getting to a level called a Chacham Lev. And it's the Chacham Levs, the wise-hearted, that are the ones that go to bed at night and feel in their core that they're achieving a certain level of greatness, a certain level of true success.